Hello and welcome to my OTSL game versus Michael McKibbin, who I will be facing as the USA. Hello, not him. Alright, this is a fine hand. It has 3 4-ups, which is absolutely nothing to underestimate. A good headline, even 3 good headlines. However, Middle East stands out, obviously. Especially with Nasser in hand, which is annoying. However, with Middle East, it's actually fine. Fiddle is okay, containment, of course, as well. Truman is whatever. So when it comes to Europe, I could go for a Marshall headline. I mean, Marshall event, mid-turn, even after headlining Middle East. However, Middle East being dropped in the headline phase kind of suggests queuing Italy for him, so maybe I should just protect it. I'm not really sure about this. I have Truman as well, so maybe letting him play around in France is not that bad. Maybe I can just go for Marshall setup and drop Middle East. It's bad versus... It's kind of bad versus the goal. It's kind of bad versus Suez. It's alright versus Sotsgov. I like it versus Sotsgov. Alright, let's just go for the casual 3-2. Let's not do anything overtly silly. Sotsgov it is, so let's hope he doesn't have duck and cover. Please. If he gets Italy, Marshall is still a great event. I could just equalize Europe by taking Greece, Turkey and Spain. That's all fine. Alright. Oh, he had Suez indeed, okay. Well, I feel like this is an obvious coup. So let's not wait any longer. Yeah, right, of course. Like anything else but than one was way better. It forced him to respond, but now he can just completely ignore what I did there. That's very, very annoying. Alright, this doesn't immediately grant him Europe domination. This is still a perfectly fine Marshall situation. So I will just go for the event regardless. Putting one more into France means that even if he has a 4-up, he cannot really take it right now, and if he starts fighting for it, then Truman comes to the rescue. Alright, dropping Asia for -1 is completely fine. Now Algeria is kind of open. However, I don't think I can focus on it like too much now. Europe looks like just a dead draw, like no matter what. I don't see any scenarios where it goes anyway in the early war. So maybe Algeria is actually a fine target to go to. The truth is that I have to exit Iran immediately, because he has 0 milops so far, so there's no way he doesn't go Iran if I let him. I would like to give him Nasser later. Containment would be a good hold card. Well, with NATO I think I can just do this. It's kind of passive, but I like this play. It doesn't really open up many additional opportunities he didn't have already. It's not as risky as going to Pakistan or Malaysia. It doesn't grant him access to Libya as playing with Nasser would. Alright, he goes. Yay! That's so fair and balanced, I see. Sure. Well, now it's a good moment to go to Malaysia. That's for sure. I could also just take France. If I do that and he uses decall, then Thailand is basically gone though. Maybe I don't care enough. Maybe I should give him Fidel. I would like to trap him with the CAA, but he probably doesn't have the CAA, that's just maths. So let's just give him Fidel now. If he has the CIA, then he can drop it safely and whatever. And if not, then the Defcon will probably still be dropped this turn, so... It's not necessarily true. I could probably coup myself to lower the Defcon and secure Thailand, however, it's not a very easy coup for me to make. Alright, he just events that. The truth of the matter is, I could even go for Nasser now and then coup with NATO, but I don't really like that. He still hasn't, like, and he still didn't enter Pakistan, like, not yet. So technically I could still try queuing Iran with NATO. If roll isn't as abysmal as my Italian one, then surely that could be very beneficial. It just makes everything more complicated, but... oh man, if I roll a 1 or like 2 there, that's disgustingly bad, but on 4+ I'm very, very fine. The alternative is to use Nasser and coup Egypt with it probably, and then use NATO to take Thailand. I could also like give up on holding containment and just coup Iran with NATO and then play containment to take Thailand or like Spain or something. That's not too bad. Like holding Nasser instead of containment is much worse, but maybe it's worth it. Sure, let's try it. That's fucking disgusting. Okay, so that's 2 1s for me and 1 6 for him so far. Thank God I had better ops in general, because without it, this game would be borderline unplayable. Jesus Christ. Now he has the opportunity to take Lebanon, however... yeah. However, he doesn't use it, he just takes Romania. I could take Thailand here, and I think I just will. With decall it doesn't help that much, but in case of Vietnam it may make it harder for him to manage his ops. Maybe it will force the China card out of him or something. And I kind of need to stop Europe domination, at least the immediate one. So I think I will just go for this. Okay, no distal and no perch inside. This means probably many very bad things for me. At least I got a decent headline and decal. However, decal is more of a problem than an asset if I get perched, so let's hope that at least he doesn't perch me. Duck and cover is really bad if he has the goal, which is probable. However, it's still manageable as long as I can just equalize Europe with Greece, Turkey, Canada. The problem is that then I am like Red Scar plus blockade away from losing to Europe control. However, I think it's still worth to play Duck instead of 5-year plan. 5-year plan doesn't look very good here, not necessarily. Let's go Duck. I don't know. Yeah, sure. Right. Fuck, man. Fucking cars. Sure. Millups are problematic. I surely don't have any source of them, and he may. But it's not like I can do much about it. I think I will just take Lebanon and put 2 into France. If I take Algeria, which is kind of tempting, he's just going to take France. So I don't think I can allow that. Let's just do this. It's not a... I mean, well... It's it's the best play I can think of, but it doesn't feel correct. It doesn't feel good. I just don't think there are any other options that are better. Putting 1 into Lebanon feels mandatory, especially with Nasser in my hand. Well, technically... Like, I could have gone to Egypt instead of Lebanon, but... Then Lebanon is almost surely gone. Like, and forever. It's basically forever. So I think I prefer that. Also, like, I don't necessarily need to play... I don't necessarily need to enter Angola this turn. Oh, fucking course. Okay, never mind. So he takes Angola with that probably, so that's not relevant anymore. Yeah, fucking course. He of course got access to Thailand, so I don't even have like an opportunity to do any realignments. I could just use Warsaw here to stay relevant on the map. However, that means he can just blockade me, because like that's the only free up I've got left. So okay, I cannot realign, that's for sure. I could probably ignore South America like full on, because like even if I go to Colombia and he just takes Venezuela or whatever, what the hell am I gonna do? Like I have only 2 like red 2-ups in hand. Like Cambridge is playable, but if I spend Warsaw Pact now to enter Colombia, like what am I even looking for? So I probably just ignore South America and hope it gets better because I drew Junta, I guess. So maybe the best thing I can do now is enter Algeria to threaten Nigeria? That feels bad, but like what else am I gonna do? So I guess I could do something like this. Well, feels absurd, but probably the right thing to do. This makes realignments more tempting. The problem is I still don't have a card to do it. Because I would still like to hold on to Warsaw Pact in case of blockade. So I guess I just ignore it and just space decall. Or I just say fuck it and go for it. Sure. What can possibly go wrong here? Yeah, let's go for it. Nope. 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 Well, I tried. Oh, now it's a 6. That's nice. Good to know I'm not rolling only low numbers. Yeah, he gets his millups. Sure, let's go to Colombia now. Now, it's like, it's still pointless in terms of like capturing South America, of course, with hand this shitty, like, are you kidding me? But if now he decides to defend Venezuela or Colombia or whatever, he cannot blockade me. So by doing this, I ensure that at least one of two terrible things doesn't happen, which is something, because either he doesn't blockade me or he doesn't like secure his South America. So yeah, exactly. So I will take this. Asia is. I could break Iran here, but I don't think I can afford that. Let's just take what I can here for free. Whatever, yeah. Okay, I got Purge, that's something. He got CIA, that's also fine. I got Korean War, which is not terrible and not great. Comecon is fine, NORAD is fine. He got Defectors, but I still have a good headline, so that doesn't matter. I actually like this. I got the better half of the cards this time. Truman and Olympic Games are very much like whatever, who gives a fuck, but 5-year plan is fine and Decode is good because he didn't get it and he kind of needs it anyway, so I will just go for Purge here and I think this is fine. I don't think I will need Truman, but technically Suez and Socialists are still in the deck, so who knows, maybe there is some silly stuff going on in France soon and I will need it then, so I will not complain about that. Okay, Middle East for -1 is acceptable. It's kind of regrettable that I wasn't able to secure a domination earlier. However, I just think I was way too poor for that. I don't feel like there was... Like, I don't feel like there was a good opportunity for me to take Egypt and Libya. There were too many things to do. Maybe if I didn't use Warsaw Pact to realign South America, but... Of course. Man. I want to 5-year plan him, but first I will grab something in South. I feel like the play with Warsaw Pact was correct there. I think you usually have to try as the USA. because the potential payoff for even one successful roll is huge. The fact that I failed all three was just incredibly unlucky. The fact that he had a 4-up here is also completely unreasonable. If this was the only card I didn't know. And it was one of the 2 cards in the whole deck that saved him. God fucking damn it. Sure, I will still use the 5-year plan here. I will make him either skip a turn, skip an action round, or play the China card. Normally this isn't this good when he's under purge and his cards aren't that spectacular. However, here I think this is fine because Middle East is scarred, so the main the main target for my ops, which would normally be like Egypt plus Libya, maybe Israel and Saudi, those are all like pointless now because it's scored, so I can just as well use this 5-year plan for an event that makes his hand a little bit more annoying for him. Yeah, independents are useless since he got Distal, so that doesn't matter much. Now I can take Nigeria and Algeria. Technically, Korean War gives him a mill-up, which is basically a VP. Or potentially even more if he succeeds in that as well. But he could still go for, yeah, exactly what I was going for. He could still... Jesus Christ! What? Oh, yeah, sure. Nice. So I cannot really coup that back immediately. I have to take Panama first. Because of course he rolled a e6 again, so yeah, the chances that I will just fail and he will enter Panama, which is like not the end of the world, but it's still unnecessarily giving him access to this country and an ability to break it on demand later, so I will just take Mexico and Panama here. Then I will probably space decall and then give up Korean War and hold Truman or something like that. This looks reasonable. Wait, are you joking? No way. Really? Sure. Space that, okay. Let's see if he wants to give up the China card. I would assume he doesn't, but who knows? Maybe he goes to Pakistan. Okay, he doesn't. Wow, he didn't roll a 6 there. That's nice. I roll a 2 though, so yeah. Colombia belongs to him. The situation in South America is completely terrible. And this is not a great hand. However, it's not terrible either. Muslim is not very expensive. It's kind of annoying because Iraq, but other than that it's just a good card. Blockade is the worst here. Blockade is terrible here because it forces me to play Kennedy, and I don't have the China card, so it's just really inconvenient. John Paul is kinda useless because Poland is 3 times overprotected. So I think John Paul will kind of go to waste. Truman will kind of go to waste. I will probably... Like, what do I even discard to blockade? It's just so sad. This is a hand that looks decent, but the more you look at the play pattern it suggests, the more disgusted you become. I'm not sure what to do. I could discard Muslim with blockade, but that feels like such a waste. Because Muslim is so cheap here. Discarding Brezhnev, Arms Race NATO or Asknot feels terrible. Playing Kennedy for ops and holding blockade feels even worse. But I don't even have like bad cards in hand. Having a shitty hand here would be so good because I could just dump everything with Kennedy and get something more playable. I think I'm holding blockade and playing Kennedy for ops. I think this is what it is. Unless something drastic happens, but... Sure, let's at least make East European unrest unplayable or something. Yeah, fucking cars. Yes, sure. Okay, so both Americas are basically gone. There is nothing this hand offers to fix that. He lowered the defcon without getting his mill-ups, so maybe I can trigger arms race somehow. Ironically, probably the best way to achieve that is to coup Colombia with Kennedy, which looks like such a joke, but probably is right. Okay, he had Central immediately. He may also have South America, by the way, because he completely ignored the fact that I just went from his domination to my lack of presence to basically equality. That would be crazy, though. I seriously hope that's not the case. That would be really unserious, but who knows. Well, okay, since I got what I wanted, I will just event arms race here. I kind of need some extra VPs to stay above the board, well, wait, how do you say that? Wait, there's no way it's above the board, right? Hold on. Okay, whatever. My mind's empty. Okay, I don't know what I wanted to say. Whatever, forget about it. Quang, okay. Ironically, I'm really happy he didn't actually event it. He went into Pakistan. Of course, he dominates Asia now. Wow. I will use this as a pretext to fill those Southeast Asia countries, because now it looks like a natural response to what he's doing in Pakistan. Now I expect him to just go Saharan states. This is a play that would just completely make sense here. He needs to get his mill-ups and he needs to stop my Africa domination. Yeah, he does that. He rolls well as always. I think I will just give him Muslim. Now I can enter Philippines, I can overprotect Nigeria, and I can take Ivory Coast to establish some more stable domination in the region. It's still not great. He will probably just take Cameroon or something, or Botswana, and like, yeah, it's gone for now. But it will require some answer from him, and in the meantime I can score like +3 from Southeast Asia. Really? What is that for? You're not even taking Botswana? That's so greedy. Yeah, fucking course. Like, sure, but that's not... I wouldn't say it's a good play, but it's enough to stop me for now. I will drop the scoring here. Like, this guy rolls in positions I would not expect a roll, but it's clearly working out for him, so I guess who am I to speak? Another great success in terms of my rolls. Let's see what he does. I would believe I mean, he probably should just take Argentina and Chile here. It's really hard for me to imagine a reason not to. I think it's really weird that he didn't do it like immediately. The fact that he preferred to go for Pakistan instead of Chile/Argentina this turn was really weird. If I had South America scoring, he would be punished very harshly for that, but of course I didn't, so I guess that doesn't matter much. However, in a fair world, he would really be punished for it. Now, Brezhnev is pretty flexible here. I kind of have to choose where to go with it. Most options are not really great. Like, they are either very inefficient or are completely contained in these scored regions. Like, there is no good thing to do with Brezhnev in South America or Asia or Europe. It's just all bullshit. I guess I could just break Poland. Maybe I get a playable 4-up to take Poland with, because Warsaw is gone. Like, who knows? Maybe I win this game with Europe control. Okay, this hand is a bit better than the last one, I think. So, Duck and Cover is a dangerous but potentially decent headline. Missile Envy is a good event because I have Duck and Cover, so like, it could get me something great. ABM is of course very good. Nixon plays the China card is questionable. I'm not sure how good it is yet. However, we shall see that. Chai is annoying, but it's finally a good card to discard with Blockade. And Willy Brandt is just bad, but that's fine. Camp David is okay-ish. Camp David is fine here, actually. The question is, do I go for containment headline? I don't think so. I think I should maximize the chance. I should maximize the chances of me getting some play in South America, and containment absolutely doesn't do that. I think I will start with Missile Envy because the only two 4-ups that are not accounted for are We Will Bury You and Flower Power. So I just think this gives me the ability to get something good, and even if he has Will Bury You in the headline, I cannot catch Duck and Cover, so I'm basically safe in the DEFCON terms. Even Olympic Games are gone, so I cannot die to DEFCON by doing this. And if he has Flower Power, then I get a 4-up. It's not like I can like coup Brazil with it now, but whatever. Okay, that's not a great event, but that's not bad too. I could now coup Brazil. Okay, that makes sense. However, this allows me to coup Brazil. I really need this roll to be huge, please. Don't fail me now. Okay, this was not huge, but this was decent. It was good enough. It was just good enough. So, unless he does something silly like realigns me on +0 in Brazil and succeeds, I could actually fight for some presence in South America. It's also obvious that he doesn't have any 4-ups because he gave me Usuri and the China card via Usuri after Missile Envy. So he cannot take Uruguay and break Brazil, which could be a potentially correct play here if it was doable for him. So that means he will have to figure something out. Of course he just goes for realignments. Oh my lord. Please fail once. Can you fail one realignments? Thank you! Jesus. Okay. Finally, we got him. We got him. he failed realignments. So now we can now we can realign like ourselves, I guess. I think now I can just realign Venezuela in response. It's not great. The chances are just a bit better than his were, because it's fucking 4. But I guess we should try anyway. I could hold containment here if I play the China card. So maybe I just use the China card for it? Because Cuba is a good secondary. Like Panama is a risky but potentially good, like, tertiary. So I think it's okay to use China here. How good is containment when it's held? It's not crazy, but the best part about holding containment is that Kennedy is gone, and if I get lone gunman, I can space it with containment. I like it. And Nixon is really good when it's evented, like to get the China card back, and I have some 2-ups, so that's fine. I will use the China here. Let's go for it. Nope. No. Okay, thank you. I was I was losing my hope after the second roll. It looked disgustingly bad, but yeah. Fortunately I was able to kick him out, and the scoring went away like that, so that's actually good. Let's overprotect West Germany and take Venezuela anyway. Well, he probably doesn't have brush war, right? Does that matter, bro? I could also go for Laos. Laos looks very important here. I don't really want to use my only 3-up this turn that I have left for this turn to take Laos, right? I would probably do it anyway when he takes India, if he does. But then I have to hold back for that. Okay, let's start with this. I don't have to do anything very specific right now, so I will just start with a generic good event that I want to do anyway, and let him make the move. Maybe after that the situation will be clearer. For influence, probably India. That's not enough, interestingly. Sure, let's just continue eventing good stuff. He still needs mill-ups, so it looks like he has more obligations this turn than I do. Portuguese, probably Burma. Oh, okay. He thought it through. Now if he takes Burma, I think I will actually break it. I mean break North Korea probably, or South Korea. Let's use it for a coup. Outcome to be expected. Okay, that's how he gets his mill-ups. I will actually give up Willy. I'm okay with paying 1 VP now. I really want this additional op here. Because now I could take Venezuela with duck and cover, and I will have I will have 2 ops left to, for example, break something on my last move, which I think is quite important. Okay, puppets. Okay, he just fills stuff up. This gives me some juicy realignment opportunities. Sure. If I'm given it. Yeah. Would have been too pretty. Alright. Brush is good, of course. I mean, okay, it's not good, of course, but it's good on average. So let's see if it's good actually. Colonials are surprisingly underwhelming. Salt is probably good. Salt is always good. Salt cannot be bad. I just have to figure out what to do with it. Allende is of course a worthless card, but it doesn't give him much now, so whatever. Nuclear Subs looks like a good card with a lot of potential here, but I think I will struggle to use it properly. Asia is of course a scoring we didn't want to see, like in general, but someone had to get it at some point, so maybe it's better that it's us. The question, like, because Grain Cells is of course always a good headline. The question is, isn't it better to just go for Asia? If he headlines, like the only headline that it could backfire with is Lone Gunman. And if he headlines Lone Gunman, like, do I care that much? I think I do. So the question now is, do I have a better plan? Because with Grain Cells, I just steal something, use it to, I don't know, Kuzair or whatever. And then he just takes Burma. And there's little I can do. If he has flower power, there is no guarantee that I can take over some Asian battleground with China. He can just respond with flower power. So I think actually the best thing to do here is Asia headline. Which sucks. Maybe colonials are not that bad either, but it's the same problem. Maybe colonials are like good AR 7, but then again, oh man, there are so many good events and there are too many good events here, and some of them will have to be wasted. So containment is probably my whole card again. And I will go for Asia, and either he uses Lone Gunman to get the dome here, or I get away with cheap Asia. Okay, that was a good call. Let's see what he does now. He probably coups Nigeria. If he succeeds, then I can follow up with colonials. And then, after he repairs what needs to be repaired, I can even nuclear subs and then use grain sales and probably South African unrest, Allende, and so on to coup. And then I can pick something up with salt and hold containment. And that's good. However, before I do that, I will probably get rid of brush because, like, Because like it's obvious that I'm going to brush with Italy, and I think that this is just mandatory to do that before he's able to drop the fucking Christ. To drop the scoring if he has it. So, so now the question is, what do I do with that? I think I still just like brush Italy right now. Like if he wants to realign Brazil, then I guess he's free to. I cannot really stop that. If he realigns Brazil and succeeds, I guess I'm realigning Venezuela and trying to do that. I don't think I'm brushing Venezuela, and I don't think I'm waiting with realignments. I mean with brush to realign. He doesn't, like, what's good here is that he doesn't have an obvious way of proceeding to, like, take Brazil away from me. So I think I will take this risk. Okay, very nice. Okay, the fact that I got brush and hit it in Italy was really important here. Even if he does something silly in South America, I think it's really good. Okay, probably Colombia? Haiti, actually. That's fine. This is annoying, but I think, like, I don't think Cuba as a country is efficient enough. Like putting ops into Cuba isn't that efficient, so I will just use colonials to, like, force him to invest some more ops into Africa. And then I will go to realignments in Venezuela. Because since he didn't coup Nigeria, now nuclear subs aren't like an important event anymore. Not even as it is not close to what it was like a second ago. So I can just disregard it. So now he will do something, probably like take Zaire back, overprotect stuff in Africa, and then I can use grain sales and hopefully use the card that I get to realign Venezuela. Alright, he used the only 4 left to fix Africa. That's completely fine. Now let's go grain. That's a disgusting card to pull with it, but sure, I will use it anyway. That's another terrible roll on realignments, but sure. Not that I could do anything about it. I think it's still correct to take Panama from him. Like, he may have hand size problems right now. Like, there are still good events for me in the deck, and he may have, like, if he has OAS, now he's forced to give OAS. Nasser is reasonable, but there is not much to be done about that. Now I think I will not go. Now I think I will actually take Libya and South Africa. Sadat is still somewhere, so this Egypt will come back to me sooner or later. Okay, he actually had lone gunman, but decided to not use it, which is reasonable. This roll is amazing! What the fuck? Sure, okay, so I cannot really respond to that with queuing Colombia back, and I cannot continue realignments because, like, he just zeroed Colombia when I have no access there, and now I'm suffering because of that Panama realignment that went terribly wrong, so... Man, I'm losing this game to realignment so bad. I guess I could pick up Brush right now. There are so many good Brush targets. And Flower Power is gone, so there's no need to worry about that. It's probably better than Junta when it comes to odds. Let's go Brush. Okay, that's really nice. I'm glad he failed this. Giving up South African unrest is kind of annoying, but it's acceptable. I could use Allende, but that's like one less. So I would need like a 5 here instead of a 4. There's 1 in 6 chance it makes a difference though. I will try my luck. Okay, okay. Those 2 rolls were very fortunate. It's still very like it's still very unstable. Like Zaire and Nigeria are both not overprotected, but oh my god, he's gonna realign that. He's gonna realign that and succeed, right? He's gonna realign that and roll more than me, and he's just gonna take it. This is gonna happen. Like, okay, I don't know who's gonna roll what, but I think he's gonna realign that. The playing patterns here in this game. Really? Wow. There are so many, like, he realigned so many things and he doesn't realign that. I'm gonna take it with containment. Because Lone Gunman is gone. So I don't really need to hold on to containment that hard. And what I got is a very, very blue hand. Which means that I could use some of those cards for events. Unfortunately, but no, not surprisingly, Europe was drawn by him after the reshuffle, so it will be scored only once in this game. This is fine though. How good is Bear Trap? Bear Trap is actually looking good. Bear Trap looks juicy. He could go for Liberation headline, from what I'm seeing at least. But I don't really see many... I don't see any good Bear Trap targets in his hand, so I could just try my luck here and go for Bear Trap, hoping he just, like, is forced to throw cards into it that aren't that unplayable for him. The problem is that, you know, he's gonna create a threat with Liberation, break Mexico or something. Or with Decal or something like that if you redraw it. And then I coup Angola, he gets out and just takes Mexico. That's still probably fine. I could try realignments in Mexico. It's just... it doesn't look that good. Good value I get from Bear Trap is that he may stay there, realistically. He may just roll poorly, and if he does, he could be really screwed. I think I will try this. Really? He redrew Decal, sure. I even called it, but like it was just a silly example. I didn't really expect Decal. Okay, so I really hope he stays there, because if he doesn't, then there is little benefit in just crewing Angola instead of taking the countries he breaks. Please fail. Oh, please fail. Please fail. Can you fail? Fail! No, he doesn't, of course. Yeah. I think I could still coup, because voice. So unless he has a 4-up to overprotect both, I could still just get them back with voice. And since so many things are overprotected, I will not cry over it. It's not perfect. I don't really love it, but unless I roll a 1 here, I think this is fine. Okay, that's not a 1. Maybe South African unrest is even playable if I need to. It just breaks South Africa, but that's okay. So that's like not the worst. not the worst thing that could have happened. Alright. That's okay. If he wants to take Algeria, he's free to. I could fight for it later, but for now I will just be content with what I have. It kind of looks like the best he can do in Africa is mitigating damage, which itself is okay. So if he wants to do that, I will not be stopping him. I would love to hold East European unrest so much. It's like such a good headline next turn. So I will probably be playing the rest of the cards because I don't necessarily want to give up China here. So I will be spacing OPEC, hopefully spacing South African unrest if I am able to. And those two cards are up to debate, so I think I'll start with Brush, which is obviously getting evented. I could go for Algeria or Venezuela. I think Venezuela is just a better target here. I could also go for Panama, but I think Venezuela is more worthwhile. Okay, I'm really glad it succeeded. Brush War is really carrying me through this game. Those brush rolls were very, very important, both of them. Especially the first one, but both of them were significant. So now my situation in South America doesn't look that bad anymore. His hand looks weak, so he's probably like gonna Liberation now. And now I could take time to go to Cuba. If he takes Cuba now, I'm fine with using our men in Tehran to coup Haiti. I would... Really? Okay. I can enter Cuba, that's fine. I'm very, very low in the space, on the space track. I don't understand this Uruguay play with Liberation. It's inefficient, it's very slow, like it's very easy for me to answer it, and it doesn't help him with his obligations. He had the scoring in hand and he still needs mill-ups, so... Okay, let's go to space. He has Sadat and 2 other cards. He still needs to coup. If he coups Nicaragua and succeeds, then I guess I can just take Cuba with Omid. Huh. I just spaced OPEC though. Okay, so he needs to coup on his last turn. That's okay, I will event our man in Tehran now. Well, that goes away. That goes away too. How I learned. That goes away. I don't really care about how I learned either. Kennedy is fine. Kennedy can stay. Okay, hitting Asia with this is actually very fortunate. Because, like, the biggest threat to me in this game left are Asia and Middle East, and maybe like silly shenanigans with Defcon, like Lone Gunman plus Ortega now, plus Purge, plus Aims, or Terrorism, or something like that. So getting rid of... okay. So getting rid of Asia actually really... really like calms the game down. Okay, he will still pay 1 VP for this one lacking mill-up, and I can take Cuba with South African unrest. And the map is starting to look really, really well for me. Okay, this is a good hand. It has Middle East, which is not really good. But Middle East is not terrible, especially before he takes Saudi plus Syria. So I guess the best I can do is just purging him to like limit his moves. Because now the score is looking well and the map is looking good too. So what I need to do is just basically chill and freeze the map as much as it's possible. So Purge is just a perfect card for that. I can just limit his movement and like respond to whatever he does. And as long as it's not like very revolutionary, I can just stop him in his tracks and be content with it. Even if it worsens my bird position by a little, it's probably still not gonna cost me the game. Okay, that's nice that he failed that roll. I assume he's just gonna take Argentina now, right? Right, he gives up NORAD. Quack is still in the deck, so that's not ready to... like, that's... that is not to be celebrated yet. I will drop Middle East for -2, that's actually okay. Okay, so I will only get one space attempt this turn. That would be Socialists. However, Socialists are potentially a playable card if he plays Iron Lady. So I will let him give it to me if he's planning on doing so. And I will use this time to get my mill-ups by Queen Saharan States. This is not only a cheap target, but also it sets up Algeria realignments, so he needs to work a bit on stopping me there. Okay, damn it. Yeah, my bad. I completely forgot about this card. Maybe that was the way to go. I will event East European unrest here. Maybe I will even do it this way. Because I want to spend flower power to overprotect Nigeria, and I want to have some additional target to put my ops into. If he now fixes Poland, I can just use Solidarity. Okay, actually let's just event that. I don't want to wait with it, like without purpose, without a very specific reason. I can just break Poland at any time with Solidarity anyway. So now I will event Solidarity because it's just very efficient. Africa's court really secures my lead in terms of VPs. And I could actually hold Socialist here instead of spacing them. I could also break West Germany, East Germany here. If he doesn't overprotect it. Okay, Ortega gone, that's also lucky for me. Okay, he does overprotect it, which is smart of him, I think. Let's take Poland, overprotect Nigeria, and grab Canada so that NORAD becomes valuable. I think I will still put one up into East Germany. just so that I can use NORAD to break it next turn. Okay, third in the Pakistani war. He failed all of them, thank god. And let's put an up there. Alright, containment is here yet again. Soviets shoot down Kal is fine, but it doesn't proc NATO and I don't have Korea, so it's not that spectacular. I think good old defectors are just the way to go. This hand is pretty rich in terms of ups, so I will just deny him any action in the headline phase, and then if he wants to coup, he may coup, but that will lead to me proccing NORAD and breaking Germany, which is of course something he's really afraid of, and he should be, so I think defectors is just a really good defensive play here. Okay. Alright, that's painful, however, this allows me to go for my Europe dream, potentially. So let's try. Alright, he takes Europe, he takes China, but that's not a concern. I can just take East Germany here. That's actually a really good moment to use Glasnost. Let's try to get back Argentina, succeed, and take Germany with NORAD. Okay. Alright, I feel like this game is pretty close to being over. Some silly stuff could still happen with lone gunmen, but like at this point it's unlikely. I think I could hold Aldrich James here. I could also hold Containment. Both of those cards are really good in dealing with gunman defcon situations, but the problem with holding Containment is that I would have to space aims to do that. So I could just hold aims. Let's space bombing. Okay. The tides of this game turned pretty significantly, like during the later mid-war and onto the late war. Rolls became really brutal for him. Okay, that makes socialist playable. Alright, that's to be expected after the previous play, since that surely wasn't a setup for the Iron Lady. I'm curious why he does that. Oh. That's interesting. So I really don't think I can lose unless I lose to the gunman. So I will allow it. I want to hold on to aims. Yeah, this is fine. What are Europe relevant cards left? Pershing, Reformer. Okay, Reformer would be annoying, so let's just overprotect the countries that are most vulnerable to it. And focus on delivering Europe control in the final scoring. Okay. Alright, so I'm not losing to DEFCON. Yeah, it doesn't look like I'm losing at all. I will try to not give up terribly many points, but I struggle to see how he can get Europe straight, so I would assume that this game ends with European control on my part. Actually, the way I could lose is by him eventing Quagmire and then me staying in it for like 10 years. That's actually the way he could win, I think. Well, let's see. Yeah, sure. Let's assume this game goes to the final scoring and doesn't end in me controlling Europe, I guess. I would need to stay a lot, but it has happened before. Okay, getting rid of Truman. Okay, no NORAD anymore. Drop this. Okay, I think I should be safe. Alright. That's not a huge problem for me. Yeah, this is a pretty slow and painful end, but there's literally nothing to be done, unfortunately. You may be assuming that I actually have like lone gunman and trying to play around that, but this doesn't even matter. Another realignment, typical for this game, but it's too late for that. What's up with the realignments? What's up with that? Yeah, there's not much of a difference which country overprotect, so let's just go Italy again, I guess. He went for it. Don't think that will work though. And this is the end. Like, if he has 2 4-ups, he could break. He could put 4-ups into... No, he has only 1 move. There's no way he can beat this. Terrorism was... Yeah, I agree with this. Like, it was really, like, if he got like Reformer, then maybe, but I got the Reformer and there was not much to be done about my Europe control. Alright. It is done finally. Whew. I thought this game is going in a really wrong direction after a couple of first rolls and the realignments that came later. But the tide changed, starting probably with those 2 brush wars. I mean, the first one was really important, and it led to me controlling Europe at the end of the day. I think this game was pretty interesting. It was pretty unique. Well, I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time. Bye.